Hey, this is Robert again from Merritt Web, and this is the drill down number 2, quick test effectiveness of treatment drill down number 2. Don't watch this one if you haven't watched number 1, because I'm going to skip some stuff, skip some procedures. The best way to get at an individual set of results, however, is from the quick test results themselves. It's listed right there. If you have subscribed to the premium Merritt Web, you'll just see it right there. Click on it, and here's what you're going to get. This is for John Doe. These are falsified reports. This is a falsified set of results. Although I try to be as realistic as possible, and I tried to make this so that you could see something bad was going on here. So let's look at this again in review. Minimum score, maximum score, and these are all pink and red, bold red. I hope you understand that's not good. I hope you understand green is good. There's a yellow color also. Now, this is the minimum. This is the lowest they've scored. This is the highest they've scored. This is the first score they had when they came in. This is the very last assessment. You notice immediately when you look at this drill down, something has gone wrong. Okay? We don't know where they've been in the middle. But we do know the last score has shot up to 123. 131 is the highest score that they've had, okay, for anxiety. Something's going on here. And it's something particular to anxiety, although it seems to have driven up safety score. Look at this. Analyze this. Analyze this. They came in 2011. His last score was 2018. If they're coming back again, I bet you they're coming back because this happened. Look at this. Think about it. I didn't think through this. I didn't think this far when I was thinking about doing this. I think I'm going to look at both of these at the same time. I'm not afraid to tell you that this is my set of results. I've been taking quick tests since 2010. I've taken 235 times. Here's the mins and maxes. The first, the last, the whole thing. Okay? So there's nothing to see here, nothing to look at. You can't bring these down. These are here to stay. The reason I told you this is my set of results is because I want you to understand these are real. Okay, and this is not fictitious. This is the real stuff. All right, so I'm going to pull this one up here to the treatment effectiveness, and I'm going to go back here and we're going to analyze this one. Treatment effectiveness graphs and charts. This is just a whole bunch of stuff thrown together. You're going to find more times than not that you're going to find this up and down kind of thing going on. It's a cycle. It seems to be a cycle. Not just with me, but with other sets of results that I have seen. You will see this wave. Kind of interesting. These are fabricated results, but they're not freakishly fabricated. This is something you're going to see. And you're going to see somebody come in here and go, bam, up here. Why? I don't know. But you're going to see it. You're going to see this, where these dropped off. Remember, the green line is kind of your warning line. It's 115. 110, 115. You want to start to watch that. Okay, that's danger range. Well, this person has dropped off. Not uncommon that you're going to see this. Something has driven anxiety out of the park. It's your obligation at this point to say, what did this? When you get these results, you have solid gold in your hands. What happened here? What made anxiety go through the roof? Remember, in order to use this test effectively, you have taken and passed with 70% or better the therapist exam for QuikTest. So you know what anxiety is, and I know that you know, because you took a test and you passed it. You have to know what anxiety is. What made those anxiety items pop out to this person? Go find it. Help them drive this down below the green line. Nothing to see here. By the way, these numbers down here are the sets of results. Nothing to see here for a very, very long period of time. You can notice the depression seems to stick up its head very quickly at a couple of places. Other than that, we're looking at past tense. Okay, I'm going to move him up. Move him up and look at him. This is the most recent data. If you're counseling the person, that's what you want to look at. That's what you want to know. What have I done in the last month? Well, you got 5 sets of results here. If you're giving QuikTest every time the person comes in, and coming in once a week, you got 5 weeks worth of information here. In this case, we don't have that. If we look here, 2011 for 4 of them, 2018. What's interesting is 2011, their previous exit score was 117. Their re-entry score 7 years later is 123, and they had 131 in the middle of this. Rocket scientists would say that anxiety is an issue here because we understand green, yellow, and red because we drive a car. Same concept. Green means go, red means stop, and yellow means go faster. Okay. So, you know, if this was a real person and I was looking at this, I would say anxiety is predominant here. That's what we're looking at. I would go over here and I'd say, you know, cautiously, safety is not an issue. It was January 23rd, 2011. Oh, that's a long time ago. It's 102 today. That's average. We're good. I'd still question them and make sure they're okay, but shock me if something happened. Wouldn't shock me. In this particular case right here, if this person came in the next week and said, you know, I had a panic attack, I'd say, oh, really? Kind of thought that was going to happen. This becomes the focus. This is the point of drill down. This is the exclusive nature of where I'm going with this programming methodology. And let's see, where are we at over here? Nobody home over here. 110, February 23rd. Surrounded by normal scores. Nobody home there. All right, this is where I want to spend a little time and focus, especially in this mess. As you can see, big difference. And if you remember this last set of results over here, he's a little deficient. He's only got to last 3 admins heading because the test hadn't been given 6 times. You got to have 1 for your header and then 5 So that's 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. In order to get the last 5. It's kind of important to have a last 5 and a last 3. The last 3 shows you less than a month if you're giving it once a week. And 5 shows you a little bit broader range. Now, we're going to run into some scores here that fly out when we roll over. I've tried to pack as much as I could on this form without letting it get busy. I don't want it to get busy. And the trade-off may be that on your phone you might not see the flyouts. And I realized that after I did it. That might be critical. So I might have to change it. I don't know. This is the overall average for every single set of results in the whole system. There's 6 here, so this is for 6. Over here is 235. I think that's what we said it was. When you roll over it, it's going to give you the standard deviation. Standard deviation here is 14. We know that the average is 100. The standard deviation is 10 for normal scores. We got 119.14 here. You're looking well over 120 if you want to add the one standard deviation. That puts the person in no man's land. 11, 13, you know, you're looking at 14, 15 by the time you put the percentages on there, or the 0.25 on there. Standard deviation is 14 here. You know, you're still not looking at good scores for the overall average. And down here we get into the red area. The standard deviation here. Now remember, think of a line that is an average. The standard deviation, you're going to add that onto that line, and you're going to subtract it from that line. And you're going to create this box. That's what you're going to create, the path, wherein 2 out of 3 scores fall. That's why it's important to understand the standard deviation. If you're doing this type of business, you need to understand these statistics. I know math is just not something some people like to do, but you need to understand this stuff. It's critical to your client. Look at a standard deviation of 14 here. The last 5 administrations, your standard deviation went to 16. Going the wrong direction. The box is getting bigger. That says the box is getting bigger. Here you're going to add 14 onto it. Here you got a higher number, 12, and you're going to add more onto it. Down here it came down little. Not much to speak of. Standard deviation of 11. Standard deviation of 12. Standard deviation of 10. Okay? And a score of 101. You're getting in the range there. 14. 16. Getting bigger. 14. Coming back down. You also notice T-crit. That stands for T-test critical score. It's abbreviated. T-crit. A T-crit score shows whether or not this score of 112 is statistically equal to the score of another average. What average are we concerned about? We're concerned about the average of 100. 100 is a normal score. is 112 statistically the same as 100? Well, in order to figure that out, we have to combine the two standard deviations. This standard deviation here is 16, and the standard deviation for normal is 10. We got to go through this process where we combine the standard deviations and create a combined standard deviation, and then we have to go through a process of analyzing 112.4 versus 100.0, and analyzing those two factors together, we can statistically show whether or not 112.4 is the same as 100. And here we see a score of 21.3. In order for them to statistically be equal, the score has to be below 1.96. We missed by a few. 21.3 is high. It's very high. You go down and look at this 101.3, you see your T-crit score there is 2.32. I told you it's got to be below 1.96. He's getting close. He's getting real close. This one here, he's at 96. The average is 100. Why? Is 96 not equal to 100, equal to or less than 100? This is saying that 96.7 is not lower than 100. Well, looking at the numbers, you'd say, well, of course 96 is lower than 100. No, it's not. Because the standard deviation is 14.74. And the standard deviation for the average 100 is 10. So what happens is it throws this into a higher variance. And that's probably best seen down here. See how big this box is. Actually, we were looking at, which one? Yeah, we were looking at 3. This one is way out. His average is going to be between 82 and 111. That's the 68% box. That's just too broad of a box. So let's look at this statement because we haven't seen this statement yet. Let me try to wrap this up real quick. We're looking at the last in this T-crit description here, which you didn't see in the last video I did because there was only 3 sets of results. Here we're looking at both of these together and judging whether or not we're going up or down in our T-crit score. This shows an extreme elevation. It's 19, okay? That's extremely high. This shows an elevation, okay? The depression score. The safety score is a strong elevation, but when we look at the rest of the statement, it says it's going in the wrong direction. It's increasing rather than decreasing. What's interesting is it's 98 versus 96. Well, how can it be increasing rather than decreasing? Because the T-crit score here is 3.9. Here it is 5.7. So what this is telling us is statistically this person is going in the wrong direction. It doesn't look like that, and that's why this form work is important for you, so that you can understand that these numbers, even though they would tell you, well, okay, they're coming down, the average is coming down. No, statistically, this person is headed upwards with their potential scoring range. We're going to leave this. We're going to leave out here with this. We'll go over and look at my scores real quick. But I want to be careful of the time, because sometimes YouTube blows up if you go over too much over 20 minutes. Entry score, last three. The top here is a little bit lower. Box is just about as broad. You want the boxes to get smaller, and you want them to come down lower, like this one is. Remember, go back up here. Look. Last three admins for depression. We're going to go down and we're going to look at that box. Last three admins for depression. See how that box is coming down. His range now, 2 out of 3 possibility the person's going to score between 91 and 111. That's becoming an acceptable score. Hit a few of those and it's going to look good. This is all over the map. Big, wide, expansive, open boxes. Not good. Depression is probably the thing that's most under control here. Anxiety is probably the most consistently out of control. Elevated to the point where average is almost the bottom floor. And the upper limits are way in no man's land. Let's look over here real quick. We'll just go look at this. This is the range. You're not going to stop this range. It's historical. This is what you're looking for. This is what you want to see. What you can see here is anxiety is a broader spectrum than depression. And safety is something that doesn't even have to be considered. This is what you want to look at. My variance in anxiety is a little broader, although it's below the 110 mark than depression. Depression is stable. This is stable, but it's a little bit bigger. What you want to see down here is this. You want to see this completely zeroed out, if at all possible. All right, we're going to close out. Send me your questions if you got them, and I'll put up another video.